Welcome back, everyone. It's here. And today I've got some r/BestOf for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading you the posts, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. This post was collected by Choice Evidence 1983, and their tagline is, "It dawned on me that he was a wizard." The original OP is The Wizardry 90, posted to r/Am I the Jerk, March 14th, 2026. Am I the jerk for giving my mother and my stepdad 60 days to move out of my childhood home that my father left me in his will? As the title states, my dad left the house in my name on his will. He passed away 8 years ago, but my parents have been divorced for over 20 years. I was renting out the house as I had already purchased a home before his passing. Up until 3 years ago, I had people renting the house until they moved out, and my mother was living in her in-laws' home with my stepdad. They asked me if I would let them stay in the home and they would pay the property tax, bills, and make sure the property is maintained. I agreed, and they have been living there ever since. My stepdad is a handyman of sorts, so I had no problem with him fixing the typical stuff that comes along with living in a house. I did clarify to them that I was to be told of any major issues so I may address and fix them in the proper fashion. I also must mention I live in California, and the home my father left me is in Texas. I do visit every now and then, and my mother assured me other than the regular upkeep, nothing else has been required. Recently there was a bout of windy days, and a tree fell through the roof above the living room, and my mother called me to have someone come look at it. I have a friend that does roofing, and sent him to check the damage out to send an estimate to the insurance. After his inspection, he sent me pictures of the attic, as well as the pier and beam foundation, and stated the house had been previously worked on by someone that didn't know what they were doing. I called my mother, and she informed me that my stepdad fixed things, and I shouldn't worry. This week, I visited along with a home inspector, and he pointed out the house is beyond repair. Not just what my friend had shown me, but as well as the plumbing, electrical work, and HVAC. I once again asked my mother what was all done to the house, and she stated that my stepfather knew what he was doing, and the home is livable. Of course, I am beyond upset at myself. The amount of money to make the house ideally livable is beyond anyone's budget at the foreseeable moment. I told my mother she must vacate the house in 60 days as I'm going to sell the property, which will basically require the house to be torn down. I informed her that I am willing to help pay for her and my stepdad to find a suitable home to live in. But they must now pay the rent, and I'm covering the move-in fees, mover service, and the necessities to get them on their feet from the selling of the property, which is around $300K. Now, my family is upset with me, including my sisters and other relatives, claiming I'm just uprooting my mother from her life at a time where she isn't able to start over. I am at a loss of what I am to do. Even explaining to them that it is also a safety issue for them to live there comes back to me kicking them out. Relevant/top comments. Commenter 1. $300K for relocation is beyond fair. The house is condemned. There's no home left to kick them out of, just memories and drywall. OP responds, I should also add, they're not receiving the $300K. I'm willing to put a decent down payment on a house for them. The home is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it's just them two living there. OP on having the proper authorities taking a look at the house not being livable after the stepdad has tried to fix things up around the house. The possibility of having to tear the house down if it's condemned. OP. This is one of the possibilities I have for the property. The land itself is on 3.5 acres. I'm not sure whether to invest on 2 townhomes on the property or just outright sell it. Either way, after posting, someone reached out, and I'm going to get the house condemned. OP on why they got the house from their dad instead of their siblings. OP responds, I can only assume I was the most responsible out of us 3. Also, I cared for him while he was incapacitated. OP on his mother and stepfather's background. OP. Yes, there is info I unintentionally left out. I am 36 male, my mother is 52. She had me when she was 16, and my stepfather is 56. My mother is a work-from-home home health intake. My stepfather has a small brick and stone laying business. I myself am very well off financially, much more than my sisters. I left home when I was 16 to live with friends and put myself through college. I also have a family of my own. I left home when my parents divorced, so I've been trying for years to fill in the relationship with my siblings and my mother ever since. This kind of hit me really hard. My mother is not the smartest person in the room, and her and my stepdad do not make good decisions. But they do have some money. I just want to have a clear conscience after this part of my life that I did the best I could out of this situation. OP on what the damage was done to the house to make it unlivable. OP responds, "It doesn't take much for a 60-year-old home. Plumbing was rerouted, so all the sinks and toilets share the same outlet. The house smells like shit when there's a backup. Pier and beams are leveled with shims and cinder blocks. AC has one return for the whole system. The wiring is a mess. The list is long." Commenter 2. The house isn't livable. Why is this even a conversation? You're not uprooting them. An uprooted tree out of that. Commenter 3. Why are you giving them money for destroying your property? Update. March 18th, 2026, 4 days later. The house has been condemned. I went through the city code department and had them deem the house inhabitable. My mother and my stepfather are staying with my older sister until they find a place of their own. Their belongings are still at the house as they only took necessities. They declined me hiring movers, not that any would want to work in the house. Little by little, they will take what is most important to them. I also had told them I will only help them get into a rented house or some sort of living arrangement. I will not move them in with me in California, as I don't have space for them. It's now up to my sisters to see what they can do for them because I have made it clear I did my part. Looking back at the responses from the initial post, I will clarify some things. The house was ruined by my stepdad. People said 3 years is not enough to ruin a house. Just imagine starting a project on one part of the house and causing another issue. Within a few months, you have multiple problems simultaneously piling up. Also, they hired their friends to do work for them that I was not aware of. Why am I giving them money? Well, she's my mother. No matter how stubborn she is, I will always care for her. I make enough income that I can give them, as well as myself, some peace of mind. I'm not giving them the full 300K, 345K and some change in reality. I'm just giving them enough so they hopefully won't struggle. My father left me the most out of my siblings because I assume he thought I was the most responsible. I feel that I have failed him in a way by not being more present in what he had left for me. I spoke with the majority of my family and shared all the information from the city to show them, even if I didn't ask my mother and stepdad to leave, the city would eventually make them. Everyone understood, except, of course, my sisters. This brought out a major argument, where I see my sisters only wanted me to be the provider to my mother and stepdad. Hopefully they can manage living somewhere else, albeit I'll have my doubts. It's hard on me, knowing I have to keep an eye on my mother while also having a family of my own. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. Damn, your sisters really showed their true colors here. Skull emoji. They wanted you to be the ATM while they sit back and judge your decisions. The audacity is wild. You did way more than most people would. Getting the city involved was smart because now nobody can say you just kicked them out for no reason. And you're still helping financially, even after they trashed a 300K plus house. That's incredibly generous considering the circumstances. Don't feel like you failed your dad. He left you that house because he trusted your judgment, not because he wanted you to enable destructive behavior indefinitely. Sometimes being responsible means making the hard calls that nobody else wants to make. Opie responds, yeah, the last part of your comment was a majority of the argument. Commenter 2. Yeah, not the jerk. You aren't kicking them out, the city is. If the house is condemned, it's a death trap. Your sisters are only mad because now the responsibility to house them is falling on their shoulders instead of your bank account. Opie responds, yeah, I was just a jerk to myself, as a lot have put it. I was being naive and delusional. I was never really close to my sisters, hence why I live in California now, but that's another story. Commenter 3. I'm late to this. My first inclination would be to tell the rest of them something to the effect of, you all say you know how I should have done this. Well, here's your chance. I'm pulling back and referring everything to y'all. Go for it. I'll make sure mom has your phone numbers. And then do it. It's amazing. And I mean amazing. How fast people's attitudes change with things in their laps. Opie responds, this was part of the conversation I had with the family. I did what I could for them. The house itself was never going to be permanent. It's nearly 70 years old. Commenter 4. It sucks you lost the value of the house. I imagine there's no way to recoup the losses incurred by your stepdad, short of a lawsuit that would screw your mom. That's a tough spot. I'd personally consider taking just my mom in, but suing the shit out of stepdad for damages. Not that it's an easy decision to make. Lofi responds, honestly, they don't make enough to warrant a lawsuit. This will be my last attempt to help them out, and everyone is aware of that. Commenter 5. They declined me hiring movers, not that any would want to work in the house. Little by little, they will take what is most important to them. Yeah, I'm concerned about this part. You will have to set a deadline for your mother and stepfather to get everything they want/need out of the house, so you can sell the land. Otherwise, they're going to treat it like a storage facility indefinitely. I know it's hard to set boundaries with family of origin, but you need to start thinking about what's best for you and your new family. Your children are genuine dependents. They need you. Your mother is an adult. She also has family locally who can help her if she needs it. OP responds, they have 14 days starting on this coming Monday to remove what they need/want. After that, the house will not be able to be entered per the city. Sorry my narration doesn't have the usual amount of flair as normal. I am actually incredibly sick and my throat is entirely seized up right now, giving me very limited vocal range. It also sucks because if I take a break, YouTube punishes the channel in full. Gotta love this system. Honestly, it takes a really special kind of talent in 3 years to condemn a house. Like, you have to not just do something wrong, but you have to do it so wrong that it genuinely just becomes easier to start over instead of trying to fix it. It's also just incredibly goofy that he wired the pipes in such a way where it caused sewage gas to essentially leak into the home, and the mom was like, no, he's doing a good job, I swear. This is like connecting your engine to your steering wheel. Not sure how the fuck you did that, but it's going to be easier just to get a new car instead of trying to fix whatever the fuck you just did. Honestly, I'm trying to think of more examples that are more relatable besides cars, and I'm kind of drawing a blank here. But all the stepdad had to do was just simply call OP when there was an issue and have someone take a look at it. Instead, he took matters into his own hands and ended up condemning the house. Thing is, I also just know that chances of the stepdad's just gonna talk shit like, oh, those inspectors don't know what they're talking about. The house is fine. They're just being overdramatic. Essentially lying to maintain and buy his favor with both the mom and the sisters. That and the sisters not wanting to take any kind of, responsibility for the mother and stepfather, so, listening and agreeing with the stepfather for, no, it's the inspectors, just makes that more convenient and more easier for them to just simply target against OP for kicking them out. That's a tinfoil hat theory, though. This post was collected by Direct Caterpillar 77, and their tagline is, Satan is not a pogo stick. The original OP is Common Bimbo, posted to r/advice March 17th, 2026. My boyfriend is scaring me with his jokes. Content warning for abuse, obsessive behavior, sexual assault, and mentions of I hate the fact that I have to censor that, because I can't really give a proper warning, but I have to. Unless I want to start TikTokifying my language. So this relationship is new. We've been dating for about 2 months now. I'm 20 female and he's 24. It moved a little too quick for my liking. I invited him over to hook up. That's all it was supposed to be. But then we watched movies and took a night walk by the river. And he said he wanted to make me dinner the next day. So I was like, okay, sure. Well, then he started coming over like almost every day for watching movies, making food, and playing games. And I'm not joking. He told me he loved me after a week of knowing each other. I was stunned. I just said it back because I felt awkward and didn't know what to do, but I didn't mean it. I know that's bad, but... Anyways, he's gotten a lot more comfortable with me. He adores my dog, and that's good, but here, lately, he's been making a lot of comments that actually scare me. I don't know if I'm overreacting. I kind of want to break up and not see him again. First joke was about and killing me. He said he would put roofies in my drink and have his way with me after I pass out. Then he said something about strangling me to make me pass out if I didn't like the roof. Said something about if I die, then he'd hide my body. Another joke he made, he grabbed my boobs and said now he's assaulting me. I told him to please not make jokes like that, but the very next day, he'll make another. He's made a few other jokes that make me terrified, but that's some of the stuff he said. I ask him to not make those jokes because they're scary, and each time he says he won't, But then, he does it again. I even told him I have trauma from being raped as a teenager and sexually abused as a kid. I don't know. It's like he ignores me when he makes jokes like that, and I'm just scared. I haven't been having sex with him anymore because of that. I'm thinking about breaking up. Any advice for me? Edit. Right now, I am overwhelmed and scared after reading some of these comments. I didn't expect this much. I am sorry. I know it's infuriating to read this and think, how can I be serious? I have just always been like this, always doubting myself and feeling like I overreact. Hard to trust myself or my intuition. My brain always downplays and minimizes things. He promised me they were just jokes, so I believed him. I didn't think it was that serious, but deep down, I knew it's wrong. But I promise I get it now and understand the severity, and I'm going to break up with him. I will do it safely, taking your advices, and I will update and reply more later. I need to clear my head for now and come up with a plan. Thank you. Relevant comments. Lionheart, 1224. Are you actually a serious, real person? Your supposed boyfriend is making jokes about raping and killing you, and you're seeking advice? Are your survival instincts so dull that you need someone to tell you to leave a collection of walking red flags? God, leave this creepy fuck and move on with your life. Please. This guy is a literal danger to your life. Gotta love it when Redditors tell a victim of CSA, are your survival instincts really that bad? Yeah, dude, you showed them. OP responds, my stomach dropped reading this. I am serious, unfortunately. I second-guess myself and never trust myself or what I think a lot. I'll admit I'm a bit naive because he promised they were just jokes. I'm gonna break up with him. User Silly Chihuahua 26 comments, I'm going to speak to you as a trauma therapist who works with domestic violence dynamics. This is not joking. This is early-stage coercion and threat testing. He moved very fast, said I love you within a week, and then started making jokes about drugging you, raping you, killing you, and hiding your body. When you told him to stop, he did not stop. When you disclosed your past sexual trauma, he escalated and kept going. That combination is extremely concerning. In this field, we look at patterns, not excuses. He's showing you several high-risk behaviors at once. Rapid attachment, pushing intimacy quickly, ignoring your boundaries, sexualizing violence, and continuing behavior after you clearly said it scares you. That is not someone misreading humor. That is someone testing how much he can get away with. Your body is responding appropriately. You said you feel terrified and have stopped having sex with him. That is your nervous system recognizing danger. This will escalate if you continue seeing him. You are thinking about breaking up. You should, and you should not do it in person. End it over text or phone. Keep it simple. Do not explain, debate, or give him an opening to argue. Something like, this isn't working for me, I'm ending things, please don't contact me again. Then block him. Do not meet up to talk it out. Also, take basic safety steps. Make sure he does not have access to your home. Change anything he might have access to. And let a trusted friend or family member know what is going on. The fact that he continued making rape and murder comments after you told him about your trauma is not a small detail. That is someone who is willing to override your fear for his own gratification. You are not overreacting. You are picking up on something very real. OP responds, thank you for this. I'm going to follow your advice. This has also opened my eyes a lot more too, and I take it as a lesson to trust myself more. User Octopus comments, info, does he have a key to your place? After you break up with him, can you stay at your parents' or at a friend's for 2 weeks? OP responds, I did not even think about that. I did give him my spare key to get something of his out of my apartment while I was at work, and I didn't get it back yet. And yes, I can go stay with my mom for a bit. I am working up to talking to her about this. I'm scared to ask him for my key back now. How should I do this, or not ask and just change my locks? OP also added this about their relationship. Thank you, this is good advice. A few things I didn't mention in the post is that we got into a big fight once already because he thought I lied about where I was going, but he heard me wrong. He made me share my location with him for him to always see where I am. It was scary. He was yelling at me. I thought he was gonna hit me, but he didn't. He just stormed out and left. That bit about sharing my location with my family members reminded me of that. I felt it was extreme to make me share my location and the yelling, but yeah, I am done with this relationship. I will take your advice. Update, March 18th, 2025, the next day. Hi, so I got a lot of great advice on my post and I followed it. I just want to say thank you to everyone who gave me advice and really wanted to help me out. There were a lot of comments coming in, and I'm sorry I didn't reply to them all. I was overwhelmed with the situation. But here's how the breakup went. I told my mom everything, and she was horrified at the things my boyfriend said to me. I told her I wanted to break up with him and that I was scared, so she came over to help me out. She's friends with my landlord at my apartment complex. He's very nice, so she told him everything. He changed my locks for me. My mom told him what I told him, and he was fuming, obviously hating my boyfriend's guts now. I had to wait for my boyfriend to get off work before I could call him, so I did that yesterday evening, and I just told him it wasn't working out. I was scared because we only had one explosive argument before over me going somewhere. It was a misunderstanding, but basically, it was so bad I was scared he was going to hit me, but he didn't. And so, I was surprised because over the phone, after I said I wanted to break up, he was actually very calm and civil about it. I sent a bag of his stuff outside and told him to come get it, and he said he was going to. I watched a few movies with my mom. She wanted to stay with me for a bit, but then she went home and I went to bed. I was woken up a little after 5 this morning to my phone being blown up by him. Had a lot of missed calls and texts and voicemails saying dumb stuff like, I'll never find someone who treats me as good as he did, that I'm a blah blah blah. And I texted back and said to stop texting me. Then he sent a message saying that he's here in my parking lot and he wants to talk to me to fix this. I looked out the window and saw his truck was out there. I ignored him and turned my phone off and went back to sleep. Woke up around 6:45 again to my dog barking because he was knocking on my door. I didn't answer it. I just texted my landlord and asked to tell him to go away from me because my landlord usually comes in around this time. Then my landlord comes in at like 7 and my ex was still here, so he called the cops to have him trespassed. Cops didn't arrest him, but they told him they will if he comes back since my landlord doesn't want him on the property ever again. I blocked him, and that's it for now. But I'm still gonna be careful and always keep my doors locked. It honestly wasn't as crazy as I thought it would be because that one argument we had a while ago, he was scary angry, and he does have anger issues. I just hope this is the last of it, but for now, the problem seems taken care of. Now I'm going to focus on myself. No more inviting hookups to my house because I realize how stupid that was. It was my first time, and of course, I got a guy like this. I'm also going to get myself into therapy because, like some of you said, I need to learn to trust myself better and take care of myself for unresolved trauma. But I just want to let you guys know I'm okay, since some of you wanted an update, and thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate it. Here's the old post. I just made a new post because it was a lot to type out. Relevant comments. Divemaster24. I would recommend to not walk to and from your car alone, at least for a few weeks, whether at home or work. Same with putting out the trash. I'm sorry you're going through this, I really hope he'll go away. But I'm legitimately worried for your safety. Hope he responds. I really hope he goes away too, sad face. My landlord is here a lot during the weekdays. He said he's gonna watch out for me, and don't worry, I will watch out for myself too. If it does get bad, I can go stay with my mom and she'll have my back. Thank you so much. Honestly, that second comment covered gave better advice than I honestly ever could, especially without pointing out a lot of the red flags. Him going out of his way to essentially just push himself and steamroll into the relationship and push boundaries, asserting himself into her life, and then testing to see what he can get away with. For OP's sake, I do hope this is the end of this entire fiasco, and they never have to deal with this guy again. But it would be naive to think that as a guarantee. Also, I just love how he's like, you'll never find someone who treats you as good as I do. It's like, yeah, dude, that's kind of the point of why I'm trying to get away. I don't want to find someone who treats me as good as you do. This post was collected by Big O Nerd. The original OP is Buckets of Drawing, posted to r/relationship September 1st, 2015. Me, 36 male, with my 42 female girlfriend of 2 years. I suspect she's up to some shenanigans. I've dated this lovely lady for about 2 years, and she's meant the world to me. We've been two peas in a pod, and I adore her completely. We've always had our week or weekend plans committed because we tend to travel quite a bit. So, having these plans cemented is an important detail due to the arrangements I make for an outing. Well, several months ago, she canceled on me for a weekend trip. It was sudden and caught me off guard, but life happens. She had decided to go to a party with her friends. No big deal, and I told her I would pick her up at whatever time she called. I wished her a good time and counted on hearing from her at the end of the night. The end of the night comes, and instead of a "come pick up my drunk self," I got an "I'm going to stay the night with my friend here." I was fine with this and said to rest up and have a nice night. When we finally meet up again a week later, something was off. My spider sense was tingling, and she was looking everywhere but at my face while we were having dinner. I asked her if she was feeling okay or if there was something I could help with, and she said no, and that she just wants to go home. Something was clearly bothering her, but it was a secret, and nothing I could say or do was going to let that secret out. Over the next several weeks, more plans of ours were canceled and were replaced with her going to her friends to hang out for drinks. I actually tried to invite myself along to one of these excursions, but she insisted that I was going to be bored and to find something else to keep myself occupied. This puts me on full alert. It bothered me quite a bit because this had been happening often lately. I don't know what the next level of having a spider sense tingle is, but I was definitely on that next level. A week or so later, she bails on our plans again for our Saturday. She tells me she's hanging out with her drinking friend at the farmer's market and maybe her and I can get together later that night. Well, shucks, it takes me 10 minutes to get to the market, and I decide that I should put on my investigation hat to see what's going on. I do not tell her I'm on my way. Upon arrival to the market, I take a look around and I can't find this girl. I look everywhere. I sent her a message saying, "Hey, I happen to be at the market too. Where are you?" My phone blows up with all kinds of questions. Where did you park? What direction are you in? What shop are you by? I gave her the details, and 10 minutes later, she's standing in front of me with perfume on. She never wears perfume. I ask where her friends are, as it would be good to say hi, and she tells me that her friends all left to get lunch. My question, dear Reddit, is how do I get to the bottom of this? What do I ask her? Am I imagining things or is something up? Am I reading things that aren't there? Too long didn't read. What's this girl up to? How do I get her to spill the beans? Comments, balderdash. Keep listening to your gut. Straight up ask her, there's someone else, isn't there? Let me guess, you pay for all the travel? OP responds, I think I'm going to straight up ask her what's happening. I'm leery of being dodged though. I'm not sure how this might apply, but I'm going to be honest in an effort to garner the best advice. We are in very different income brackets. I help her out in as many ways I can. I do pay for all of our travel and outings because there are many things we want to see in the world, and she doesn't have the means to afford this. To me, spending time together is more important than the money. User Evelyn Garnett, quoting OP, I actually tried to invite myself along to one of these excursions, but she insisted that I was going to be bored and to find something else to keep myself occupied. This puts me on full alert. It bothered me quite a bit because this had been happening often lately. I don't know what the next level of having a spider sense tingle is. Well, that's so dang magnanimous of her. Maybe next time she tries to block you, you should assure her you couldn't possibly be bored, as it's the only shot you get to hang out with your girlfriend anymore. I bet she dodges the issue in even more amazing ways after that. So your, tarantula tingle is onto something. OP responds, I actually did try this tactic once on her, and honestly she did dodge it in a more creative way, but I was chalking it up to circumstance. She changed plans on me on a Friday to go to a wine tasting party. I thought that sounded fun, but was informed it was a girls-only club. I didn't think about that till now, though. User Xavier RV, seems to me like the only thing you need right now is some motivation to go talk to her. So, go do exactly that. Demand answers. Even if she's not cheating, the fact that she's been canceling all of your plans is really shitty and should be discussed. OP responds, yes, I will try to confront her directly. She hasn't yet replied to my messages of us getting some dinner and chatting. Final update after 3 days, September 4th, 2015. Update, I, 36 male, walked into my lovely girlfriend, 42 female, with her new boy toy. I brought the ice cream. First off, I want to say thanks to the advice everyone had given. There were a few thoughts that resonated that I appreciate. Secondly, get your popcorn. This gonna be good.jpg.gif. Oh boy. I know we all like a good story, and this is somewhat therapeutic for me. This all happened a few days ago, and it took me a bit to digest everything. Quite a bit of advice was around direct confrontation and asking her what the heck was going on. After numerous ignored phone calls and text messages, she finally decided to pick up her phone. She apologized and said her phone died and she didn't realize it until it was too late. I started in right away that she had previously sent me a message nonchalantly, that she just wasn't feeling it between us. After that message, we talked and she said she was just feeling stressed and was taking it out on me. Understandable, stress happens. So my next question was this. Your friend had told me that you were seeing someone else. What's going on? Do you want to break up? Her answer? What? Who said that? Oh my god. Who said that? Oh my gosh, I'm so tired of all these rumors about me. Who said that? She went on like this for quite a while. What struck me was that she was more concerned about someone ratting her out than the accusations. She assured me over and over that she did not want to break up, and then she started making me feel awful that I would make these statements towards her. Didn't I know how she felt about me? That I saying this made her feel like I didn't trust her? I suddenly felt like the worst person in the world. She also pleaded with me to give up who it was that said this, but I wasn't budging on that. In the end, she said she was having an emotional, stressful day and just wanted to relax and we would talk later, maybe over the weekend. After taking in the advice from here, I felt like she was misdirecting. I sat there in a mix of feeling like something was amiss and feeling awful that I just accused my beautiful girlfriend of cheating on me. I felt terrible. I sat for a bit, feeling like I just put this huge crack in our relationship. I love her to pieces. I needed to go apologize. I hopped in my car and drove the hour to her city and decided to get her a quart of her favorite chocolate ice cream on my way there. When I stopped into the shop to pick up this treat, I run right smack into her daughter hanging out with her boyfriend. They are both in college doing night classes and just got out of school and wanted a treat. We were chit-chatting and she was going to be staying at her boyfriend's for the night, but forgot one of her workbooks and needed to stop at the house real quick to pick it up. After chatting, the daughter's boyfriend took off and we both drove up to my girlfriend's house. I pulled into the street because they have assigned parking at our unit. Her daughter actually pulled up behind me instead of her own spot, and when we got out I said, "What's up, neighbor took your spot again?" as we walked up to the door. No, that's not my neighbor's car. I don't know if it was the way she said it or her sigh afterwards or what, but suddenly it felt like my heart just sank. I knew what we were going to find, but I was hoping for anything but that. Her daughter and I both shuffled through the door and stopped immediately in the entryway. We could just hear them. There's no mistaking it. You know the sound, rhythmic thumping and moaning with little exclamations of pleasure. The bedroom was right across from us. Her daughter looked at me with her eyes as big as saucers and just goes, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." At this moment, it felt like I was living outside of my body. It's hard to explain, but suddenly it was like I was just a person watching actions happen. I couldn't really feel anything, and I didn't know what to do. Here I am, standing here with a quart of ice cream while my girlfriend is getting railed in her bedroom. I had no idea how to proceed. My whole body just felt like I couldn't control it. Her daughter suddenly just screams, "Mom, what the fuck?" That sounded like a cross between a banshee wail and a fire truck siren. My girlfriend actually ran out of the bedroom, naked and all, possibly thinking there was some emergency. Maybe motherly instincts that something bad just happened. I don't know. She started to formulate words, but fell silent as soon as she saw the two of us standing there. Eventually, a stream of words fell out of her mouth. "Oh my God, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. What are you doing here?" She kept repeating it over and over until she ran back into the bedroom. I stood there, shocked, still having an out-of-body experience. I don't know how much time passed. Seconds or hours, it blurs. She came out clothed in her pajamas and was talking to whoever it was on the other side of the bedroom door. My girlfriend, ex now, started yelling at her daughter and I about why we were in the house. I think the realization of everything was suddenly starting to hit her because she started crying and making unintelligible noises. Her daughter starts to scream at her about, "How could you do this?" and "You did it again?" At this point, I had seen enough. I couldn't even look at her anymore. Everything was numb, and my ears felt like they were ringing. My body still wasn't my own. I walked over to her kitchen table and put down the ice cream, saying, "I know you get hungry after sex, so here's some ice cream," and walked out the door. She started sobbing no, but I just kept walking and drove home. That was a few days ago. I didn't go to work the next day. My phone has been blown up. I have not replied. For your reading pleasure, here are some of my favorite messages. If we had spent more time together, it wouldn't have happened. It doesn't mean anything. You know that I love you. If you cared anything about us or our relationship, you would talk to me. Are you ignoring me? Please. I have lots of pleases. If you cared, we would be able to work this out. And it goes on. Right now, I still feel kinda numb. I just don't understand how or why this happened. I gave this girl and her family so much and my all, and it didn't even matter. I provided for them when times were tough and did so much to make our lives good. I know I shouldn't feel this way, but I feel like I don't mean anything or that I can't make someone happy now. It's frustrating. I know I'll get over it in time, but it definitely hurts. I don't understand why or how this could happen. We were so good, too. So many questions I want to ask her, but I'm forcing myself to not have contact with her and just going to move on. In retrospect, I wish I kept the ice cream. Too long didn't read, girlfriend caught having sex, she got rewarded with ice cream. Comments, Liger0459, quote, "You did it again," end quote. God, those words from her daughter tell you everything you need to know. Stay strong, man. If you can, block her number so you're not tempted to reply, and if not, just maintain no contact. Opie responds, "Yeah, I kinda really want to talk with her ex-husband. The few times we've met, he always looked like he wanted to tell me something but held back. I imagine this is why he is the ex-husband." User, pick a name, any name, Kay. I feel really bad for the daughter. She sounds sweet despite growing up with a terrible role model. Best of luck processing everything. I'm totally sorry to hear what happened to you. At least this can close this chapter of your life, and soon, you can start a new one and find someone who treats you wonderfully. No contact, gym, Facebook, blah blah blah, etc. OP responds, her daughter is a good person and knows full well the kind of commitment I had to her family. It's frustrating because I feel the actions of one punishes everyone. Deleted user, no contact. You might drop the daughter a text saying that you bear her no hard feelings. OP responds, yes, I will eventually send the daughter a message, but I have a sneaking suspicion she understands. She's a good girl too. It's a shame. I think I've only done this twice in the history of this channel, but I'm gonna leave this one to you guys. My throat is actively deciding to rebel against me because I am recording while sick, and it is just absolute agony to speak. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be on the road to recovery. If not, well, that's gonna really suck. So, I'm gonna cop out on this one, and let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hey, welcome to the outro. Don't forget to check out GamerSupps. Use code KEYZ at checkout. They've got some good stuff. I actually use this sponsor. Got good caffeine, caffeine free, and plus every purchase made with code KEYZ actually supports the channel directly. Also, gotta love being sick and just having to pretty much fight against that at every step and dealing with, chugging throat coat tea and anything else that can make my throat actually comply with me for narration. So that's fun. Also, I've been playing with the audio settings, seeing what I can do to maybe at least fix or amend things. No idea what's been going on, but yeah, that's been a fun battle.